Hi, I'm Jill with West Regional Branch of the Mobile Public Library, and today I'd like to recommend the movie Rurouni Kenshin Origins. This is the first in a 5-movie series that's actually the live-action version of a story that was originally a manga and then an anime. And I would recommend this to both people who are fans of the originals as well as people who have no familiarity with it and this is their first introduction to the story. I think they did an excellent job of adapting the original story because it stays true to the spirit of the original, but then it was edited down and things were combined and rearranged in a way that makes it very watchable and believable as a live action, because they walk that line really well where they kept enough of the, sort of magical realism type, over the top comic book style from the original to not feel like a totally different story, but then they grounded it enough that it's not like coming off cartoonish. So I would highly recommend it as an introduction to the Rurouni Kenshin saga. But so what is Rurouni Kenshin? It is a story, and it's set in the Meiji period in Japan, which is after they had a very brutal, hard-fought civil war that changed the country from like traditional feudalism to more of a modern nation, and it started to get very westernized just in the course of a couple decades. And this is set during that transition period. And the main character, Kenshin Himura, he fought in that civil war. And then after the war was over, he threw aside his sword and picked up one that was blunt on one side so he wouldn't kill anybody. Because he has this vow of nonviolence. Well, I wouldn't say nonviolence because he does beat up a lot of people, but to not spill any more blood, to not kill anybody else. And he travels the country helping people. And of course, the beginning of the series, he comes to Kyoto and he falls in with a group of fellow misfits, and the group of them become, like that group of friends that become family. And they have various adventures where they, defeat the bad guy and save people. And there's usually sort of a heartwarming message. The manga was originally a Shonen Jump manga, so it was really targeted to children, like maybe like 12-year-old boys, that kind of level, like a Dragon Ball Z. That was also a Shonen Jump. But this one is a little more serious with the historical background to it. I mean, there's some liberties taken, but it is still set in a real historical period, and they have a lot of the characters are real historical people. And the live action version is a fantastic action movie. I mean, they do that with the wire work and stuff, so it's not, completely realistic, but it's the kind of wire work and stuff you expect in an action movie. And then they're good about making the setting and everything look historical, so it's kind of like just a historical action movie. And it was, very entertaining movie. There's a reason they made 5 of them. They of course made the first one, and it was such a enormous success all across East Asia that they, immediately started making more movies. So it was a massive franchise. So it is, like I said, high quality movie for anyone who just likes a action movie. But then it's also got a lot of heart to it, and a lot of chemistry between the cast, where you really do believe that they are like a group of misfits who've gotten to know each other and created a bond and became like a family to each other. And that's always, that's a trope that a lot of us, really enjoy in a movie. So if you've not read or watched any of the previous anime or manga of Rurouni Kenshin, I said this is a great introduction to the series. And if you have read or watched the older versions and you have not tried the live action, I'd say give it a try, because I know a lot of times the live action lets people down and it's just not really a faithful adaptation. But I think this one does do a really good job of keeping the heart of the original. So we do have copies of the DVDs in the library. It's also on Netflix if you happen to have a subscription, but you can check them out from the library for 75 cents a piece. Okay, so for food, lately I have been making simple syrup, which is just a sugar syrup. I bought it more than once to like sweeten like a cold brew coffee. And I didn't realize how simple it is to make. So I did a little Googling and I found like, wait, I can make simple syrup in like, 10 minutes and then pour it in a little container and use that instead of spending, I don't know, $4 or $5 a bottle on it. So I've been making a lot of simple syrup lately. It's also really good to drizzle on like strawberries or something that's maybe a little too tart and you want sugar on it. Anyway, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you have been watching and eating lately, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.